Hello and welcome. My name is Brian McAvoy.
And I'm Tim Shank. This is Two Cyborgs and a Microphone, brought to you by Twin Cities Plus, creating an intelligent, capable,
Tim,
resilient...
whoa. Sorry, I have to stop you there. Twin Cities Plus has stopped. That episode we did a few weeks back about failures in the grinding community, I guess we can add Twin Cities Plus to that list.
Well, I don't think I'd call it a failure as much as just puttered out, actually, Brian. It just didn't really take off the way we'd hoped.
Yeah. It started off with a pretty grand idea. Well, a very noble idea of bringing together people through transhumanism, through showing them what's possible with body hacking and biohacking. And the people who showed up, I thought they were super cool
and super engaged and excited in a lot of cases.
But as soon as we asked them to, show up regularly, donate a few bucks, it kind of became apparent that people were there to hang out once in a while. It was hard to find people who were really...
Which I respect.
Yeah. Hey, well, that's what we found out is everyone has something going on. And asking people to commit some time is tough. It's really tough.
I think so, too. And, it kind of all comes back to this idea of the singularity, which I don't think we've ever talked about on this podcast.
Maybe we should.
But I think we are in the throes of it. I mean, I don't know a single person who's not absolutely at capacity, has everything in front of them that they'd ever want to have, and is just fully engaged in the interests that they have and the things that are affecting them, and completely ignorant of everything else in the world. And that includes me. I think that as technology and as the rate of change is speeding up for us, that we're all kind of overcome. And while we have as much input as we could possibly want, we are starting to lose track of the general, our environment, what's going on around us and the people around us. People that I see, they'll acknowledge very valid concerns. I mean, you can mention, I won't mention anything specific, but there's been some recent political events that you can bring up a very valid point to somebody, and they'll acknowledge it, they'll validate it, and then they'll go back to everything they thought they did before. I get this sense that people are on a trajectory and they're just not able to change where that's headed at this point. No matter how much help or encouragement or insight you can give them, if they didn't already believe that and were headed that way in the first place, I don't think they're responsive. What do you think about that?
I think that's true. I should mention that there were a few people who were gung-ho from it pretty much as soon as they set foot in one of our meetups. They got wind of this and were like, I will happily commit some time to this. I will start a podcast. I will volunteer for some service. That's a single-digit percentage of how many people we met, which is unfortunate, but
it is. But those people, I think those people are the people who remained on the board of directors for a long time. I think we're all already on that path. We're all doing that. I don't know if being part of Twin Cities Plus was a catalyst for any movement in that direction for any of us.
No, it didn't. It didn't change any minds, which is fine. I mean, the people who showed up were already of the similar mindset. Seems like one of the problems with a transhumanist group probably branches out to a lot more than that, but it's, how do you, even if people are already on board with your idea, how do you get them to commit some time? And I see this on the Grindr forum too. People have lots of ideas and not enough hours in the day, which is, I know, something you and I both have. We have that in spades.
One thing about the whole transhumanist, and I'm going to do some air quotes here, movement, that I've always said is that I look around me and everybody I see is transhumanist. We're all merging with computers. We're all outsourcing our memory to digital formats. We're all transhumanist. And I didn't see a point in a movement as a group of people pushing it forward, because I don't think it's anything we can change. We are that as a culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we covered that early on.
Right. So, and maybe that's part of the reason why Twin Cities Plus failed, because everyone's like, okay, yeah, robots are coming, cyborgs are coming. And I knew that. It's already something that they're doing, that they know is going to happen. So why be part of a group? Because we're already all part of a culture.
Yeah.
That is headed in that direction.
Yeah, we made friends through the group. Getting people to change their mind was never our intention, and it never did.
No, I don't think so at all. But it did introduce me to a lot of people. I mean, that's how you and I got introduced.
That's the reason we have this podcast.
Sure. So I think there's a number of reasons why Twin Cities Plus just didn't really get off the ground. It takes a lot of energy to run a nonprofit, a lot of energy to start it, a lot of energy to run it, especially in getting volunteer resources. And when people are already part of a larger community that's doing what our small group is, even if it's at a lesser degree, I just don't think we had the involvement.
So I suppose we should say what's in the future for Two Cyborgs and a Microphone, because most people who listen to this probably have never been to one of our meetups. And
yeah.
So the future is we're going to separate from Twin Cities Plus, and it can remain in whatever capacity. But Two Cyborgs and a Microphone, we're just going to keep broadcasting, because why would we stop? I enjoy this. I enjoy speaking to everyone out there. I enjoy getting together for our bash sessions each week.
Yeah, I'm awesome. We all know that, Brian. You're awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean...
So why would we stop?
Why deny the world us?
No, I think our podcast is great, because there's a lot of people that you and I both interact with them in various ways on online forums and Twin Cities Plus that are open to this. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that we're all moving this way. Whether or not you want to be a cyborg, you're probably going to be in 5 years. Say 10. I think what we're doing here is really helpful for people.
Mm-hmm.
I think people need to hear just regular people who aren't in some extreme, don't have some extreme viewpoint to promote, who don't have some agenda, just people looking to improve themselves through technology. And I think that's valuable all by itself.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any interruption to our schedule.
No,
but maybe we'll drop some of the nice polish. When we were broadcasting and saying, we're part of Twin Cities Plus, we were representatives of this organization, but we're not anymore.
Right.
So ass butt dick, ass butt dick, Tim, ass butt dick,
a dick, Brian.
So maybe we'll loosen the tie a little bit further, and Two Cyborgs, Microphones, and Opinions. We've always done that, but yeah, since we're off the rails, I'm gonna tell everyone about my latest project that I'm just kind of proud of. This isn't one that's on my blog, but it's kind of a fun anecdote, I feel. It's a head-mounted computer. It's just a Raspberry Pi Zero running to a display mounted on a pair of dollar store sunglasses.
Nice. So where do you have that? You have it mounted in the lens? Is it one of the lens? How do you have that display?
That's just this little display that actually uses suction cups to adhere to the front of your glasses, and it's just a video input. So I took the video output from a Raspberry Pi Zero, and bada bing, bada boom. Now my goal with this is to be able to walk and read at the same time, because it only covers one eye, because walking and reading are both relaxing, and now they're both stressful, but they can be done at the same time, so it's more efficient. Engineered.
Nice.
So yes, my goal is to be able to walk outdoors in the nice weather, get some exercise while reading, so that when I get home, I'm no less stressed out than when I left. It's brilliant.
So does it cover an entire eye or just part?
Most. I can kind of see around. If I point my head down and look over the lens, I can see out of it if I need depth perception, as long as I'm not like trying to play baseball.
So how big is the screen? Like an inch by an inch?
Yeah, about that.
Definitely cool, Brian. So
anyway,
I'm interested now. What's your stage 2 of this? Because I know you're not just going to be satisfied with reading and walking. What are you going to do with it?
Well, right now the Raspberry Pi just sits in my pocket next to a battery. So I'd like to get a smaller rechargeable battery, then use a wireless keyboard mouse combo, or make the display, my head-mounted display, wireless and just keep all the computing stuff in my backpack. Phase 3 is to connect a cording keyboard to that so it's more integrated as a wearable. And I've already built cording keyboards, even a Bluetooth cording keyboard. I just need to make a better one.
Nice. Yeah, I remember your cording keyboard. Well, that's pretty cool, Brian. I mean, that's something that I think a lot of us want. I mean, that's what Google Glass was trying to be and failed drastically.
Plus, I mean, I really want to walk around like downtown with a screen covering one eye, looking like a cyborg, like the fictitious Borg with one eye covered. Maybe I'll attach a laser.
Yeah, so here's a question. Are you worried about, because I know with the Google Glass, people got violent over that just because they had the impression they were being recorded. They didn't like people documenting whatever they were doing, even though it was in public. Do you have any concerns about that?
Yeah, I mean, I know it doesn't have a camera. I think people who are apprehensive of glass holes, they're going to not look at it and say, oh, I don't see a camera. They're going to be dicks about it. And so I got to watch out for that. And if people get annoyed, I'll just put them away. I'm not putting anything so urgent on there that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm waiting, or I'm monitoring my vitals to see if I'm about to have a heart attack. I'm like, no, I'm just reading up on news articles.
Don't run into any polls, Brian.
Yeah, without depth perception, I suspect it's going to be a lot of branches to the face. Oh well, it takes me back to my longboarding days, catching branches in the face. At least I'll be going slower.
Well, maybe, Brian, with that, we should just wrap it up and call it a day for today.
Let's call it a day.
Well, thank you for listening. We'd like to invite our listeners to email us for now at 2cyborgs@twincitiesplus.org. We will be updating that in the near future.
You can still put 2 Cyborgs on your back. We have those ultra stylish hooded sweatshirts with the 2 Cyborgs logo right on the back. So you can still support our podcast and you can still look fabulous, but I'll bet you already do. This is Brian McAvoy.
And this is Tim Shank. You have been listening to 2 Cyborgs and a Microphone, brought to you by 2 cyborgs who coincidentally have a microphone.
Like, follow, share, +1, and don't forget to subscribe on any of our popular podcast services, including Google Play Music, iTunes, and Stitcher. Help us move up that podcast ladder by subscribing and commenting. Please comment. Please. Thank you.